Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse and this is the Council Minute for the week of January 10th. On Monday night, the City Council continued our discussion of a possible local option sales tax here in Bloomington. As always, I think it's helpful to start with a bit of background information. A local option sales tax is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a half-cent added to sales tax charged within the boundaries of a city. But rather than that half-cent going to the state of Minnesota, revenue collected through a local option sales tax stays within the specific city where it's charged. Almost 80 units of government in Minnesota have a local option sales tax. Here in the metro, the list includes Oakdale, West St. Paul, Excelsior, Rogers, Minneapolis, and St. Paul. In greater Minnesota, larger regional centers like Duluth, Rochester, and Mankato, they all collect local sales taxes. Cities are required to get legislative approval before imposing any local sales tax, and there's a specific process to do so. I'll get to that in just a minute. A local option sales tax here in Bloomington would generate about $11 million each year. That estimate comes from the Center for Community Vitality, which is part of the University of Minnesota Extension Service. And here's the interesting part. They also estimate that given the size and the strength of Bloomington's retail and hospitality industry, 75% of this tax would be paid for by visitors to Bloomington. Bloomington residents would account for 25% of that $11 million. So $11 million generated, and 3/4 of that is paid by visitors or non-Bloomington residents. This is important in the context of Bloomington's capital investment needs. As I've discussed in the past, many of our physical assets in Bloomington are in need of significant investment or replacement. For years, one of the top priorities of city elected officials and staff and residents was to keep property taxes as low as possible. It's a goal everyone can agree on, and Bloomington did a great job at that for decades. But the flip side was an underinvestment in some of our physical capital, our buildings. And now we're at a point where significant reinvestment is needed. I'm talking about our fire stations, our public works maintenance facility, Creekside Community Center, Bloomington Ice Garden, our public health building, and more. We have a big list of capital projects. And a local option sales tax would give us a tool to shift the burden for improvements to these facilities that really add to our quality of life here in Bloomington off of Bloomington homeowners and on to a much broader base of taxpayers. From that big list of capital projects, work that needs to be done, City staff has identified 4 projects that could potentially be funded through a local option sales tax. The list includes a significant renovation of the Bloomington Ice Garden, including a new roof, a new refrigeration system, locker room improvements, and other amenities at a cost of $32 million. A new community health and wellness center to replace our public health building and Creekside Community Center at a cost of $70 million. A total replacement of the clubhouse at Dwan Golf Course, as well as extensive course improvements and upgrades at a cost of $15 million, and an expansion of the Bloomington Center for the Arts that would add a concert hall at a cost of $33 million. One very important requirement for any project being considered for funding through a local option sales tax is that the project must have a regional impact. The projects that I mentioned certainly fit that criteria. Conversely, a local fire station that primarily serves the city of Bloomington wouldn't be seen as having a regional impact. Now, beyond the regional impact, these projects would benefit Bloomington residents and would create or enhance our centers of community. The $11 million generated each year through local option sales tax would be enough to pay for these projects. Those are big price tags. So city staff did a comparison of what it would cost to pay for those improvements through the property tax levy versus paying for those improvements through a local option sales tax. The property tax levy option is pretty straightforward. If the city added $11 million of debt service for this list of projects, the property tax bill for a median value home in Bloomington would increase by about $210 each year. The impact of local option sales tax takes a little bit of math. If $11 million is collected through a local option sales tax and 25% comes from Bloomington residents, that's about $2.75 million. If you spread that across our 38,000 households, it means that each household would pay $72 of additional sales tax each year. $210 versus $72 each year for these 4 major city facilities. A local option sales tax would reduce your share of the cost to replace these facilities, and it spreads the cost across the whole region to support amenities that serve the whole region. I mentioned the specific steps that need to be followed on all of this. First, the council would need to pass a resolution in support of local option sales tax, and that resolution would be sent to the state legislative tax committees. The legislature would do their legislative things, and if Bloomington's request is passed as part of the final tax bill, it would come back to the city for final approval by you, the voters. Residents would have the opportunity to vote on a local option sales tax for each project separately. We'd probably do this during this year's November general election. The reason I'm going into so much detail here is that the council will be considering that initial resolution on Monday, January 24th. We'll be taking public comment at that council meeting, and we want to hear from you. But I want you to understand the rationale and the details of the local option sales tax before then. Yes, this would be a new tax. Nobody likes new taxes. But it is a new tax that will reduce the overall tax burden on Bloomington homeowners and businesses. Additional information will be available on the city's website soon, or if you have questions, feel free to give me a call or call any member of the City Council. On Monday of this week, I was part of a group of mayors, police chiefs, and city staff that met with county and state leaders to talk about issues of crime in the metropolitan area, specifically the recent rise in vehicle thefts and violent carjackings. I think I counted at least 40 mayors in the room on Monday. And our guests included Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman, Ramsey County Attorney John Choi, State Commissioner of Corrections Paul Schnell, and Hennepin County Sheriff Dave Hutchinson. It was a good discussion. There was very frank and honest back and forth about the concerns that mayors have, the perceptions of safety in our communities, and the challenges faced by our law enforcement officers and by our county attorneys. The best outcome of the meeting was that we had the meeting. It shows that we mayors have the attention of the people we need to reach, and they now better understand our concerns. I'm also encouraged because there are a lot of efforts already underway, including a group that I serve on, the Hennepin County Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, that can help move solutions forward to improve public safety in our communities while at the same time ensuring equitable outcomes in our criminal justice system. I think we all agreed that we need better collaboration between our core cities and our suburbs, as well as between our police and our prosecutors. We also agreed that if the perpetrator is a repeat offender, the need for aggressive prosecution is an absolute must. We talked about the need to revisit bail reform, which in recent years has relaxed the requirement for bail in some offenses. It's an important program, but without question, if a violent crime is committed, the criminal should stand before a judge. There was also agreement that in cases that involve juveniles, accountability and supervision are only the start. If we don't also offer intervention and follow-up and mental health services and chemical dependency counseling, if we don't offer those things as well, far too many of those young people will be part of the criminal justice system for years to come. We can do better in this regard, and we absolutely must. And two final thoughts. First, the need for continued support of our law enforcement officers is paramount in this effort. And second, no one benefits by finger pointing or by thinking this is somebody else's problem. My colleague and friend Ron Case, a neighbor mayor in Eden Prairie, said it best. This is not suburban versus urban. We are all in this together. There's much more to come on this effort in the future. Please stay tuned. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks once again for tuning in. Until next time, please stay safe, Bloomington.